What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we are taking a look at another sample library called Boutique Drums Medusa from Musical Sampling. And let me quickly tell you how I got my hands on this. So first of all, I was listening to an album called Stages by Josh Groban, and he has this arrangement called of Over the Rainbow. And the final chorus of it has these really beautiful big drums in it, like with a huge kick and a snare in it. And I was always on the lookout for this type of sound that really resonates throughout the room and has this huge hit attack in the sound. So when I came across Musical Sampling's website and I kind of heard these drums, Medusa really contained some of the biggest sounds I'd ever heard in a drum library, like ever. So I was super excited, and I reached out to Aaron, and he was very kind enough to send me the library to do a quick video for you guys. And so I just got the library. I want to quickly check it out with you and see what it contains. And before we get into it and get super deep into the different patches, we'll play through everything. I want to give you my sample library buyer's guide. If you are on the market for a any sort of sample library that has to do with orchestral stuff or pianos or ethnic libraries, percussion libraries, jazz libraries, all of that stuff, it's categorized by price. It's categorized by different sections, so you know exactly what my personal preferences are that I like to use, and also ones that I would recommend that you use as well. And it's a totally free guide if you're on the lookout for that sort of thing. If you're, considering your next Black Friday purchase or something like that, I think it'll definitely help you. So it's a free download if you want to check the link in the description box below. It's my gift to you for watching this video. So let's kind of get into the drums here. Let's kind of check out what it comes with first. So we have ensemble drums and sound design. That's kind of like the core components of this library. Then there's also sound design patches, which have like synths, battle cries, guitars, pulses, piano, and cello. Like some of these I think are going to be insanely awesome. Okay. And then there's also some loops and stuff, which are really cool too. You see hi-hat grooves recorded at different speeds, which is great. Cross-fadable grooves as well. And then you have groove speed control. Now notice that there's not a whole ton of stuff. Like there's for 179, you get the huge drums. You also get these different sound design elements, and I think that's a very fair price for what you do get. If it was only drums, then it might be a little more on the expensive side. But the fact that you do have those additional elements to help you create cues and pieces that are just huge and heavy right off the bat and out of the gate, I think it's awesome. So, and here's the patch listing of everything that it comes with. All right, so now that we actually have it all loaded up here, let's kind of play through the patches. You can see here the folder structure is basically just containing 4 different things. We have the instruments, samples, sound design, waves, which you can drag into your session if you don't want to play in the contact patch. And so we're interested in the instruments. So they have the ensembles, which are the main drums and the auxiliary drums. And then we also have the sound design elements, which have a whole bunch of options there. So let's play around with the main drums a little bit, and they also have a couple of different mic positions here, which or different mixes, you can say. We can take a look at that here. Let's see. I think they talk about them. Let's see right here. So Hermes is a tight, punchy mix. Centaur is the all-rounder, while Zeus takes excellent advantage of the room tone. So that's more of like the room mics, right? Whereas the Gorgon mix is a hyped, massive, punchy mix designed specifically for trailers. Okay, let's start with that one. So by default, the Gorgon mix, the most epic process mix, is loaded up. So let's have a listen to this. So those are all the different kind of multi-sampled parts of the kit there. The most essential ones, right? You have the kick, you have the snare, you have kind of the toms here all laid out. You also have the hi-hats. And then here you have the cymbal crash. And then at the very top, in this green section here, you have all the different hi-hat loops. So we can go up an octave here. And this is automatically synced to your host tempo as well. So right now the groove speed is at normal. I can go to half, go back to normal, and then double, which is kind of cool as well. But you could play one of these grooves and then also play, you know, your samples at the bottom. So let's play this groove over here. Then you can off with a crash like that, you know. But anyway, let's try maybe another mix here. Let's try the Hermes mix. And yeah, you can look at the patch size. It's not very much. It's around 200 megabytes in total. So yeah, you know, it's not very heavy on the CPU at all. Yeah, so unlike a lot of other libraries where usually only one or two of the mic positions are usable in a fuller context, I find that all of these different positions or these different mixes have a certain practical use actually. Like you could easily plug any of these different mixes into you know, the slots here and it could sound very good out of the box right away. But I have to say out of all of them, the Gorgon right now is probably still my favorite just because of the impact it gives you, and it really has that sound that I'm looking for in that Over the Rainbow cover, that the Josh Groban one. If you listen to the very final part, just a beautiful snare that really just hits through the arrangement, the orchestral lush arrangement, which is so nice. Let's go into the auxiliary patch here as well. Yes, that's really cool. They kind of give you two of each, you know, of these instruments, and I like these cymbal swells, tambourine rolls, because you know one of them allows you to cut off the release right away, whereas the other one has a release tail as well. So the one without the release tail allows you to implement, you know, another multi-sampled instrument, or if you want to end off with like a cymbal crash, a single crash, then you can certainly do that as well. You know. So those are kind of the main two, you know, core patches that this library comes with. Let's go through each of the sound design patches really quickly here. So here we go. Yeah, this patch is cool because it lets you basically play as many notes as you want, and it's going to arpeggiate up those notes. So if I play a 3-note chord, it's just going to go root, third, fifth, root, third, fifth, right? Kind of like that. So pretty cool. Okay, Battle Cry is probably one of my favorite patches, I think. That's great. Here we go. Bottom line. All right, so this here is a very simple patch, but I absolutely love it for two reasons. Number one, it sounds like a sine wave, but it feels like it's layered in with something else to make it even beefier. And secondly, it has a legato function on. So when you play a note and you overlap it with another note, it's going to automatically cut off the first note, which is very useful because usually you're not going to have two sub basses happening at the same time. You're going to have one basically bass note, right? So, okay, then we also have some other goodies here, like the Chelly, Chug and Chelly, recorded at 120 BPM, but let's see what it sounds like. Yeah, so pretty cool. Again, here you have the half speed, regular speed, and double speed controls at the bottom. I believe the red range is basically the recorded range, and I believe the orange ones are just the extended samples. I could be totally wrong, but I'm just guessing. But they still all sound pretty good to me. So concussion hits are just like processed drums that are even huger than like the main kit. So here we go. Yeah, so this patch in particular comes with these different pad sounds, and then here is the playable range of all the different notes in the pad. Okay, so this patch is awesome because when you play lightly, you get these kind of dry guitar chugs, right? As you push up the mod wheel, you get those more sustains. And if you want to end it, then you press really hard and you get this single sustain, which fades out. So that's really, really, really cool. Just a lot of functionality built into each patch, and the fact that it doesn't come with really any controls on the actual GUI itself, I think is just a really interesting thing because then you have no need to be distracted by any knobs or anything like that. And for someone like me who's super simple, I always prefer to have my patches very straightforward and the GUI just very simplistic in my case. Let's hear a couple of these pulses as well. Finally, the starters. All right, so that is all the sound design from Medusa, and this is actually the kind of sound design I like when they've done all the work already, and it's just up to me, the composer, to choose the sound that I want to use in my specific cue or track. Then I can just literally lay it down in a matter of seconds, rather than having to tweak all of them, all the sound myself. And then, because I'm just not a sound design guy, by nature, I'd like to use sounds that are already presented to me and incorporate them into an existing arrangement. Yeah, so I mean, the starters itself, like this patch here, is a really, really cool way to just generate some instant ideas, right? You get all these different sounds here, and then the playable range for all of them. As a pianist, and just someone who doesn't tinker a lot with sound design in general, it makes it super easy and convenient for me to just plug this in and get started. And so in terms of like utility, I could definitely see myself using the main patch, the battle cry patch for sure, and also the bottom line one a lot. And then when it comes to like rhythmic driving cues, the chugging and also the what is it, the guitar, what was it? The guitar patch, there we go, that guitar patch. Those would also be super useful for me as well. But you can see if you got this library, it would be very easy to just get up and running with creating your own trailer type of cues for huge hits and just filling up the soundscapes with literally the press of a button. Like this is literally a plug and play library. There's not much else like this on the market, as far as I'm aware, that has this sort of gritty sound, and it is like a trailer music toolkit for an instant cue. So I just really enjoy playing with this. I laughed a lot when I first opened the patches and played through them once or twice before recording this video, and I just wanted to share that with you. And in case you're looking for some big drums, that do really fill up the spectrum and really give you a big hit, a big attack, and a big release as well. These are definitely ones to check out. And at 179, I think it's a very very affordable price. Actually, I think um I forget if 179 is actually the sale price. I think that 179 is the regular price if I'm not mistaken. So even if it's like, two something, I think it's still pretty reasonable for what you get. But 179 I think is definitely a no-brainer if you don't really have an existing library that kind of does this. Like if you already have Damage 2, for example, it does do that sort of acoustic type of percussion, but it doesn't really have a dedicated drum kit that has this sort of sound. So this really rounds out that part of the samples that Damage doesn't really cover, in my opinion. So anyway, hopefully that gives you a sense of what this library sounds like. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you haven't downloaded my sample library buyer's guide, it's totally free. You can check it down in the description box below. But again, it kind of goes over my favorite sample libraries that I recommend and I've kind of used over the years on a regular basis. So I definitely want you to have it if you're on the market for some different libraries and you're just not really sure what to look at. These are my personal recommendations. So I hope it helps you out. Again, it's totally free if you check the link in the box below. Thank you so very much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, my friends. Bye bye.